Keira. Wow, this is really bright. Thank you, Nam and Chung, for your soul-touching sharings. And my sharing today might be a little bit familiar with those personal development enthusiasts, but I really hope that through the stories of my personal struggle becoming an adult in Vietnamese society, you could better prepare yourself for your own journey. Okay, I want to start with a story. When I was a little girl, yeah, that was me, a little girl, my parents tried really hard to shape me and my brother into good human beings. I mean, who doesn't? As a girl, my parents' definition of good was very different from mine, of course. For them, good was to be obedient, compliant, respectful, selfless, well-rounded. Yes, do try hard at school, but try even harder with house chores. Because as a girl, that's my responsibilities, of course. You know, đảm đang, biết nghe lời, hy sinh, nhẫn nhịn. Well, despite all of my parents' effort, I turned out to be the exact opposite of what they wanted me to be. Okay, that was me. Not so obedient, not so respectful, and whatsoever. Yeah. And along the same line, a good boy knows how to be strong, be tough, be soon to be the financial pillar of the family. Mạnh mẽ, cứng rắn, trụ cột gia đình. Oh wow, these ideas are examples of personal values. They are a set of words describing what we value the most, how we want to live our life, and what makes us feel most satisfied doing. They are the ultimate guide, the compass to our decision-making process. And each one of us construct our own personal values in all aspects of life by collecting input from various sources: family, friends, books, movies, the internet. As we grow older, we are exposed to new experiences, meet new friends, find new foes. From there, we consciously and unconsciously readjust our personal values. They are values that never change regardless, but there are also new values totally contradicting what we used to bear. Living in line with our personal values brings happiness, joy, fulfillment. In contrast, drifting away from our personal values creates discomfort and uncertainty. Sometimes, along the spiral and chaos of career, family, friends, lovers, our values sway. As a result, we might get stuck in a wrong career, wrong relationship, wondering why it does not feel right. And this calls for us to sit back and review where it went wrong. And this includes checking in with our values. We processed many different values in all aspects of life. Today, I'm going to break them down in 3 main areas for us to better navigate ourselves. The first one is family, the second one is romantic relationships, and the third one is career. Okay, firstly, let's get back to the core values existing within our family. Personally, I've never felt comfortable choosing inequality, subordination, and selflessness as my personal values. I much prefer equality, courage, and self-respect. I'm not afraid of defending my personal point of view, speaking up for myself and people whom I love, or standing firmly in my personal boundaries. In contrast, my brother was sensitive and soft. Don't get me wrong here. There's nothing wrong with a sensitive and soft man. But with traditional values in mind of how to be a good man, my dad used to demean him for being too soft and effeminate, nhu nhược. Even until now, my brother hasn't been able to find an alternative way of being and still stuck with a conundrum of how to be a good enough man. So, what about you? What would you choose and why? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay, I hope you got your answer. It doesn't have to be a definite answer. And the answer could also be, it depends. Don't worry, we'll get back to that later. Okay, secondly, another extremely important aspect of life, very much related to families, is love and romantic relationship. When it comes to this topic, my parents are definitely on the traditional Vietnamese side with very different values from mine. They respect lifelong commitment, security, and partnership. In fact, these are highly positive values that has been transferred from generations to generations, but without any particular guide on how to practice them. Therefore, at times, commitment becomes imprisonment. Security becomes boredom. Partnership are merely transactions, and love gradually fades away. For me, healthy relationships are all about compassion, transparency, mutual understanding, and mutual support. From my parents' perspective, these values would be considered as too idealistic. Indeed, breaking relational habits from your childhood and building healthier ones take time. When I was 19, okay, who is 19 in the house? I can't see you clearly, but can you raise your hand up? Okay, when I was your age, after countless numbers of toxic relationships, I finally decided to seriously invest in a healthier one. Healthy relational habits me and my ex committed in developing were self-understanding, self-management, active listening, and clear communication. It was extremely difficult in the beginning. There were many times I wondered, why? Why love had to be so complicated? It, however, became much easier once the fundamentals were in place. We learned how to be responsible for our feelings and to create space for the other to process their feelings too. We managed to talk through many of our problems instead of being passive-aggressive or ignoring them. Even until now, after breaking up, we are still really grateful for how much we have learned and grown together. Indeed, it was extremely difficult and hard, but isn't it the whole beauty of growing up? To be able to take ownership of our life, to freely choose how we want to live and love. Okay, so what about you? What would you choose and why? Tick, tock, tick, tock. Okay. Thirdly, following concerns about relationships are definitely concerns about career. What are our values at work? Or what motivates us to do our jobs? Is it stability, high income, low effort kind of work? Ổn định, việc nhẹ, lương cao, or challenging and creative projects that really push you out of your comfort zone? And in case you choose the latter one, how much are you willing to give in? What else matters to you other than personal development? Because at times, values such as friends, family, and love might conflict and interfere with your passion for challenging projects. So, what would you choose and why? Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. Okay? At work, we also face many decisions that require us to reevaluate our moral values on what is right and what is wrong. As a content creator, one of my biggest dilemma is what kind of message I want to deliver. Should I create content that perfectly reflect my belief and intention? Namely, integrity, trust, empowerment, fairness, sustainability, or do I just give people what they want to hear and see? You know, commentaries on shocking news, following up showbiz dramas for the likes, shares, subscribers, and all that. So, what kind of values do you have at work? And how much are you willing to compromise those values to get the work done? It's okay if you still haven't got the answers for the questions above. These questions are not meant to be answered right away. You need to spend time reflecting after every decision you have made to filter out what feels right and what feels wrong. This could be a lifelong process of constant self-reflection. And this process is unique to each and every individuals, because we are all different in how we were born and grew up. Nonetheless, the first step to redefine our values is always to be critical about our decision-making processes. Okay, so what motivates you to feel and act in a certain way? If it doesn't feel right after this decision, what would you like to do differently next time, and why? And from all of those actions, what values could you infer? And please remember, personal values do not have to be 100% consistent across different situations. It is unnecessary to adhere to binary thinking. For example, either this or that, either black or white, either only create content that I want, or only give people what they want to hear and see. Either be extremely stubborn or extremely obedient. I know, I understand. It is ideal to live in line with your personal values, but sometimes you need to compromise those values for greater purposes, and that is okay too. That often happens in relationships when our values are not aligned with our partners, or at work when our values might negatively impact the outcome of a project. Noticing these conflicts will help you navigate your solutions with more ease. And as long as you set strict boundaries on what you can and cannot compromise, flexibility is another helpful value to have in life. Similarly, personal values do not have to stay the same over the course of life. The weight of freedom and excitement might be much heavier when you are in your 20s, like me, compared to those who are already in their 40s. Meanwhile, people in their 50s might once again prioritize excitement and freedom to cope with the uncertainty and the feeling of stagnation. With this in mind, please remember to regularly check in with your personal values and the values of people who are important to you. So, my sharing is coming to an end. I really hope that from now on, you will be able to find more clarity about yourself through the lens of personal values. From there, you could redefine yourself anytime and break free from any old values that no longer serve your purpose. And please remember, you don't have to get everything right the first time. I, myself, am still redefining and readjusting many of my values. Please, be patient with yourself. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Keira, and see you soon.